Yummy.
Hello, you're listening to The Game Grinder, the number one most scrumptious show in all of gaming. I'm Nick Barrio, and I'm here with the pick man himself, Peter Wade.
That's a false title.
Is it?
No.
You are the pick man.
It's true. From hit game Pickman.
Mm-hmm. And I'm the Pokemon.
Whoa.
I know. Let's dig in. So, for games on the brain, I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing still.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's Animal Crossing is life right now. I gotta let's see. Yesterday, I did not save Gulliver on purpose. I stole his parts because I'm trying to make the robot.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do that like 5 more times. So I need 30 rusted parts to make the robot. I've also been playing I honestly don't even know why, but I've been playing New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and I've been like 100%ing it. So far I'm on like World 2 of I beat the game, and now I'm going through and getting all the star coins.
I mean, these are weird times. So sometimes you just gotta play your video games.
And I'm just gonna say that New Super Mario Bros. U, and by extension Deluxe, is probably the best New Super Mario Bros. Game, and it's actually a pretty decent game.
Really?
I like it.
Nice. Nice.
And I
I
forgot how much I liked it too, because for years I thought the new Super Mario games were just all like bland and lazy, but this one's actually kind of charming.
huh. Interesting take. Because I
Mm-hmm.
don't hear that too often. Um, so yeah, I've also been playing Animal Crossing, not as much in the past few days because Persona 5 Royal came out and I've been playing that a whole bunch.
Ooh.
Um, it's very good so far. I mean, the base game is really good and this is just a better version of the base game and like so
So what's different so far?
um it's kind of hard to express without like spoiling things, but like some
Mm-hmm.
of the spoiler like free stuff that I can say is there's a new party member that I haven't gotten to yet. Like she's been introduced and like they actually integrate her into the story, which is really cool. Like she actually like shows up throughout the story and she doesn't like feel tagged on,
Okay.
which is
Are the
really
graphics any better?
um I would say the visual design has been improved a little bit. Like I would say things have like even more like here and there they've put a little more like charm and character
Mm.
into things. Um
Because I know you're playing it on the Pro, but you don't have a 4K TV you're playing it on, right?
yeah,
Because I know that the game plays in 4K on the Pro, and it didn't with the base game.
yeah. I will say that one of the biggest like quality of life improvements that I've noticed is the loading times are like significantly faster.
Okay,
That's a really nice
that's
thing too. Um,
yeah, that's good. That's always a great improvement.
yeah, and it's like insanely fast, especially for a game that looks as like beautiful as Persona 5 does. That's really cool.
Mm.
There's a lot of other interesting changes. I'm still not even that far into the game, even though I've been playing it a bunch. But like one of my favorite other changes is in the original game, when you infiltrate a palace, uh, you have like you have your like gun attacks, but you only have like a limited number of bullets like per visit.
Mm.
And so like once you're out of like bullets, you literally like you would have to leave the palace and come back to like have more bullets. And now they just restock after every battle, and that's so much better.
Yeah, that's a good improvement.
That's a really
And
good small change. I'll probably keep I'll probably talk about it a little more for like future podcasts, and I'll probably like You know, spoiler free, of course. I'll kind of talk about some of the other changes and improvements because I know they've added a bunch of stuff. I just haven't quite gotten to a lot of it
Mm.
because I'm
And
still not too
I have
far in.
I have one last question for you for this week on it.
Yes,
And
sir.
that is, how do you think it's going to impact the legacy of the original Persona 5?
Um, Depends what you mean exactly. Like,
So for Persona 4, I feel like there's no reason to play that anymore because of Golden. And I believe with Persona 3, Persona 3 FES or FES or whatever is the best version to play.
yeah, I
So is there any reason for anyone to go back to the original one over Royal?
from what I can tell, not really. The only thing I can think of is that um and I don't know this for sure, but like I don't know if for whatever reason you're gonna speed run Persona 5, like the base game would probably be faster because there's not like all the extra cutscenes and stuff.
Mm,
But
all right.
yeah, it's been really great so far. All of the new content is great, and I haven't noticed anything that like changed that I didn't like. I will say, however, that I'm still kind of upset that you can't uh go on dates with the boys.
Mm.
Um, you know,
That's never been available in a Persona game, correct?
as far as I know, yeah, and like kind of wish they would do that because like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like regardless of like your personal sexual orientation, like come on, come on. I know there's straight people out there that want to go on a date with Yusuke.
Is there not even a single character that you can do that with?
I don't think you can go on like dates, period. There's a I know that there's a way that you can like spend Valentine's Day with one of the guy characters, but it's like only because you like don't choose anyone to spend Valentine's Day with.
Because I know in Fire Emblem, like, it's not every character, but there's like a certain amount of characters that you can choose to date or rank up from either gender.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a weird thing to like not include at this point. Um,
Maybe Persona 6
Maybe that
or
would
Persona
be,
5 Royal Deluxe on the Switch.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Have to wait and see.
Persona 5 is probably one of my favorite PS4 games, if not my favorite. And I'm looking forward to playing it eventually, but right now I don't have the time or money to pick this up. So in the future, I will.
Definitely big recommend from me.
Awesome. Moving on to the weird and wacky tales from the deep, dark depths of the games industry. This is something that I recently became aware of, and you honestly, when I first told you this, you didn't believe me until you saw it
I like
yourself.
still don't, and it's real, but I don't believe that it's
Mm-hmm.
real.
Like when we talk weird and wacky, this is weird and wacky. So
Yes.
in 2008, to promote the launch of Animal Crossing City Folk, there was a feature where you could transfer your villagers and I believe your character from Wild World on the DS to the new game on the Wii. And to promote this, Nintendo sent, I think, 14 journalists maxed out copies of Wild World on the DS that one of their employees maxed out. So this is someone from Nintendo. This is official from Nintendo. And one of the characters, one of the villagers in the game, Barbara, who's a sheep, her custom motto was changed to the N word, and it shipped like that from Nintendo.
That's rough.
I know, it's absurd. Like, there's an official apology from Nintendo. Apparently, they took the copies back from the journalists they sent them to. Like, I don't know how that got through at all. But, like, it was originally discovered by MTV. Like, MTV was one of the people they sent it to. And then all the other journalists checked, and each copy had that.
That's so insane.
I mean, like, I can't even imagine what would happen if that happened today.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't happen today. It would just that would not
I mean,
happen.
I'm really like genuinely surprised that I've never heard of this until very
Me
recently.
too.
And
Me
that's and
too.
that's why
Like
I thought when you were telling me that it was fake, like I was like I've never heard of that and I feel like I would definitely have heard of that.
hmm if you look it up, there are many articles on it from 2008 from major publications. So,
That's
weird thing.
that's rough.
All right, what do we have for news this week?
Oof. We got some stuff. Not an insane amount, but we got some important ones. And
Things have started slowing down.
yeah, the virus is kind of just slowing down a lot of news in general, and that's kind of the bulk of like news lately in general. But our big story for this week is that The Last of Us 2, um, Last of Us Part 2, is delayed indefinitely, and there is no new release date.
Mm.
I think this is
And
really interesting
it
because,
is.
well, because first of all, uh, I this is like the first time in recent history I can ever like remember a game not being like canceled, but like delayed indefinitely.
And I also don't think this is going to be the first game it happens to. From, well, not just from Sony, because they've already also announced that Iron Man VR is also delayed
Yeah.
indefinitely. But from other publishers and developers, I feel like this is going to start becoming more frequent as the virus affects the industry.
My
Um,
question is that I don't part of me it doesn't fully understand it because on their official statement for the Last of Us 2 being delayed indefinitely, it kind of says like that they delayed it because they want to give players like this certain specific launch experience, and like I kind of don't know exactly what that means. Do they have like a
okay,
launch
so
event planned?
what I interpret that as is they're not going to be able to ship the physical copies out to the stores this late
Uh,
in, and they want it to be widespread physically and digitally,
I see.
instead of just releasing it digitally and not knowing when the physical version is going to come out. That would probably cut into sales a lot.
Mm, that's fair.
And my other take on this is because I've been saying this for a while. When they first delayed the game, I always thought they were going to do like a Breath of the Wild dual release with PS4 and PS5, and that's more likely now than ever.
Yeah, we will just have to wait and see.
Because when they originally delayed it, I thought they would have delayed it way later so they could do that. But if they delayed it a second time, the fans would have gotten upset if that was the reason. But this is kind of a way they could stealthily do that while blaming it on the virus.
Yeah. Um, so I want to change up the order of the news because I actually want to talk about our third thing second.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it the Final Fantasy VII remake copies are arriving early in Australia and Europe now because of the virus. And this is like the almost the exact opposite of what's happening with Last of Us.
Yeah. Well, Final Fantasy VII Remake is kind of just on that cusp where like everything after it is probably going to end up getting delayed.
Yeah.
Whereas, at least in Europe and Australia, they can release it early. Here, they're still making people wait. But because even if you download it early, you can't access it till the release date.
Hmm.
But I mean, good move. Except I think they should have done it worldwide. It would have had more of a
Yeah,
synchronous
I
release.
don't
And
understand why they're releasing it just in Europe and Australia early.
yeah, and it will affect the hype because when a game comes has like a scattered launch like that, it really impacts like the message, like the central message of the release, you know?
Yeah.
Like if it comes out on one day everywhere, people are hyped, they're excited. If it's just been out and people have been posting everything from the game online for a week or two already, it kind of diminishes that hype.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of made a statement like, don't post spoilers or anything, but like, people are gonna,
Mm-hmm.
you
And
know.
at the same time, there's like people who are playing it and have it like before reviews are even out.
Really?
Well, if it's out in Europe and Australia, because reviews aren't out
Oh,
yet.
yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
So it's really impacted the whole release schedule of the game, and especially like hyping the players up. Because it's such a long anticipated game, and now people have it like before reviews are out. All these details are going to go up online, and it's probably going to either positively, it can positively affect the sales, uh, or negatively impact the sales if like bad things get released online. But
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
we
So
will.
I personally haven't seen anything yet. I've only seen Pro Jared's video, and that was pretty great. Check it out.
That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our next piece of news is also Final Fantasy related. And it's that the Final Fantasy IX Steam port was seemingly updated, but the update removes all of the game files. Like if
I mean,
you
maybe if it
download it
was.
now, it is zero, like 0 bytes.
Oh, they fixed it again. It's back to normal.
Oh, they did? Okay.
But for the time period affected, it would have just been nothing. And I mean, I'm fine with that. But if it was like Final Fantasy 13, maybe because nine's like really good. So
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of wacky.
mm,
I don't even really understand how that can like happen.
me neither, especially with such a large company, but they have a really bad track record with updating their remasters of 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's see, when 9 originally released, and same thing with 7, it had the overworld music would restart after every battle, and it took them like 2 years to update that. And the fans were
Wow.
complaining for like 2 years, and that's the only reason they did it, but it still took 2 years.
The original this was the original Steam port of Final Fantasy VIII. Not the remaster that's out now, but there was a
Isn't it like really similar though?
I think it is, but it is a lot better. And like but like
Mm.
the this
Because I know they call them remasters, but they really just seem like upreses.
they did change some stuff around, but you're
Okay.
like mostly right. Um but the original Steam port of Final Fantasy VIII didn't have the like PS1 quality music. It just had like really cheap MIDIs that sounded terrible. And like the only
Why?
because the original PC release of like Final Fantasy VIII that like came out back in like the 90s had that. I don't know
And
why.
they didn't even bother to put the better music in?
Yeah, and they just directly ported the
Mm.
the PC
Okay.
version onto Steam,
So it's
and it
just a
like
straight port.
yeah, so you had to mod the like actual soundtrack that doesn't sound terrible in. And I think I don't even know if that version of the game is like still available for purchase on Steam, but
Mm.
if it is, I don't think they ever updated it to give the better tracks.
It's definitely a game I want to play eventually. I have the only one I've beaten is Final Fantasy 9, but I've played like 10, 14, and 5 without beating them, but I got to play the original Final Fantasy 7 before I can play the remake, so that's probably going to happen sooner rather than later cuz the remake looks really good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear what you think of the original because
Mm.
man, the original game is really weird.
Well, I like weird things, so
Yeah, there's a lot you will like about Final Fantasy VII, trust me, and I can't wait to hear all about it.
I look forward to that.
All right. Do you want to take our last piece of news here?
All right, I don't know much about this, but the original Nier game is being remastered for let's see, PlayStation 4. Let me open the article cuz I don't know this off the top of my head. Um let's see. This is I'm not sure if it's a prequel to Nier Automata or not. It has a very odd name, Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139, which good job
That's a
on that
that's a
name.
Kingdom Hearts tier title. That's actually like weirder than Kingdom Hearts titles. Well done.
It it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC, but what sticks out to me is that this isn't coming to the Switch when it's a remaster of a last gen title. Kind of odd,
Yeah,
because a lot of people have wanted Nier Automata on the Switch, and this would kind of slightly appease them.
that is very
Um,
interesting.
there were two versions of the original release. So the one they're remastering is Nier Replicant, and it featured a younger brother and a sister, whereas the American version had a different name. It was called Nier Gestalt, and it featured a father and a daughter instead of a brother and a sister.
Hmm.
But other than that, as far as I can tell, it seems like it's the same game.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shall we move right along?
Yes.
All right. Don't you have a very important question to ask me?
Nah, I'm not feeling it this week.
Okay. Well, then I'll ask myself the greatest question in the universe, which is what's poppin' with Peter? Well, I don't know. What is poppin' with me? Let's figure it out. Um my little PSA today is game soundtracks are really really good.
They are.
And I personally listen to a lot of video game music. It is almost entirely what I listen to. And honestly, a lot of that is just like association. Like, I love these games, and like, I don't know, just like thinking about them is, it just like makes me feel good. And like, you know, I like listening to the soundtracks,
Mm,
especially lately. I've been playing Persona 5, and we all know the Persona 5 soundtrack is amazing. So, of course, I'm listening to that, but I've also been listening to the Mother 3 soundtrack a lot, and um, a lot of other really, really great games that I really love. Um, and I've had a lot
I feel
of
like it
time.
should be. Hmm?
I've had a lot of time to just like sit and listen to game soundtracks, and it's really, really nice.
I feel like they should be available more easily. Like
Yes.
companies that support soundtracks like on Spotify and other services are like Sega, Capcom, and even Konami. I think all three of those companies put most of their soundtracks on those.
Yeah, but like Nintendo
But
hates doing that.
I know, like, there's so many companies that just either like neglect to put their soundtracks on anything when they could make a ton of money doing so, or to just release them like as a CD soundtrack. Like, lots of companies do it with limited editions, but there's no option to just buy them if you want them.
Yeah, it's like I just want like an official way to listen to the Xenoblade Chronicles soundtrack, and not just like
Mm-hmm.
get them off of YouTube by someone who like uploads them. Because those
Like,
tracks are so good.
I know if I had more money, I would have gotten the Persona 5 Royal Limited Edition because that included like the full soundtrack, I believe.
Oh, really?
And the original Persona 5 soundtrack is something I've been trying to get for a while. And if you want it, you have to import it from Japan for like $50.
Oof.
So it's a little pricey, but
I'm really surprised that they just haven't released it over here. Because like,
there's actually a surprising amount of soundtracks that get released on CD in Japan.
yeah, but like I don't know why they don't bring some of them over here, because like people really like Persona over in the
Yeah,
West.
the
Like,
popular games would would sell decently if they brought them over.
Yeah. Just like start stocking like Persona soundtrack CDs and like Newberry Comics and they probably sell out.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd
definitely.
I'd buy one.
I would too. That's what's nice about conventions is conventions have soundtracks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But if they just had them in like FYE or Newberry Comics, I would definitely buy those.
totally. Totally.
All right, so moving on to the weekly game releases. This week we have 2 releases on the PlayStation 4 and 1 on the Switch. So, as we already talked about it, Persona 5 Royal released on the PS4.
Yep.
Wear the mask. Reveal your truth. Prepare for an all-new RPG experience in Persona 5 Royal, based in the universe of Persona. Don the mask of Joker and join the Phantom Thieves of Hearts. Break free from the chains of modern society and stage grand heists to infiltrate the minds of the corrupt and make them change their ways. I feel like they could have done a better job with that
What do they
description.
mean by the universe of Persona? Because as
I
far as
don't know.
I know like the
There's
games
not
aren't
really
connected by
connections.
universes,
Yeah.
but okay.
Okay, moving on. Resident Evil 3 also released. Jill Valentine is one of the last remaining people in Raccoon City to witness the atrocities Umbrella performed. To stop her, Umbrella unleashes their ultimate secret weapon, Nemesis. Also includes Resident Evil Resistance, a new 1v4 online multiplayer game set in the Resident Evil universe, where 4 survivors face off against a sinister mastermind.
Hmm.
Looks like a really good game. It's not reviewing as well as Resident Evil 2. Like, Resident Evil 2 was like a Game of the Year contender, but it's still very good. A lot of the complaints I've seen are saying that there's a lot of cut content from the original PS1 release, but if I played it, I wouldn't know that because I've never played that.
Hmm.
Okay, moving on to Switch. Bubble Bobble 4 Friends released, and no one knew about it.
I didn't know
Playing
about
alone,
it.
I know, and so this game got revealed last summer. It came out in Europe in like November, and it just came out here, and no one's talking about it, but it looks like a solid Bubble Bobble game. Playing alone or with up to 3 friends in couch co-op mode, jump your bubble dragons through 100 levels to defeat the wicked magician Bonner and his henchmen. The popular dragons Bub and Bob are back. Bubble Bobble 4 Friends is the latest game in the legendary Bubble Bobble series from Taito. Keep in mind they're using Taito to publish this, not Square Enix, when I believe Square Enix owns Taito and hasn't used the Taito brand for a while.
Yeah,
The
it's
original
very
Bubble
odd.
Bobble It is. The original Bubble Bobble arcade game from 1986 is also included, which captured the hearts of players around the world and still has fans humming its title melody today. All right.
All right.
So, not too many games releasing, but all 3 are pretty good, I'd
I
say.
do kind of want to check out
Um,
Bubble Bobble if it goes on sale though, because I
yeah,
really like the original.
me too. I like grew up playing the original on the NES, so I would love to check it out.
Yeah,
It's not $60, it's $40, but maybe 30 or under, and I'd check it out
yeah.
eventually.
I mean, Bubble Bobble with 4 people sounds like a good time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are you ready for this week's WackWare?
I am.
All right. So, if you're a first time listener, WackWare is the weekly segment where I look through all the shovelware, indie, and just straight up odd titles releasing for the Switch and PS4. I make a list out of them, and then I make up fake games and throw them in. Peter has to try and guess which game is made up. If he can guess it, he gets a point. If he can't, I get a point. This week, there's 2 rounds, so let's get started.
All right.
First game, Survival Hunter. Hunt anything in the woods in this unique survive style game set in the Canadian wilderness. You must manage your inventory and craft unique weapons and power ups to stay alive for as long as possible. Be careful hunting at night. You don't want to encounter the grizzly bear.
Is that a
Okay?
Strand type game?
It says survive style game, but maybe.
I don't know. That sounds kind of similar to me.
It's the second Strand game has released. It's Survival Hunter.
Good to know.
We have The second game of round 1 is Random Heroes Gold Edition. The Earth is being invaded by terrifying aliens. It's up to you and a bunch of random heroes to save the day and stop the invasion. Shoot and jump your way through over 108 levels to stop the alien menace and bring peace to the planet. Will you be able to survive? Third game, Snaky Bus. Snaky Bus is an absurd arcade driving game and frantic score-chasing experience where the biggest danger is yourself. Wind through city streets, pick up as many passengers as you can, and deliver them to their destination to increase your score and the length of your bus. So you have Survival Hunter, Random Heroes Gold Edition, and Snaky Bus.
I'm gonna say the first one, actually.
Survival Hunter?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll lock that in.
Alright. Survival Hunter is the fake game.
Ooh.
You got a point. Nice job.
Thank you.
But will you get round 2 correct? The first game is Word Heard. Work your way from simple to obscure and obtuse words in this brilliant, twisty, word-finding puzzle game. Take a break with Mia and zone out of the daily grind with chilled gameplay and absorbing wordplay.
Chilled gameplay? Do they put it in a fridge?
Maybe. They took it to the extreme and they put it in the freezer.
Oof.
Next, Pirate's Treasure, the quest for the golden booty. Longbeard swore vengeance against his father, Victor III of Britain, for killing his one true love. Explore the vast open seas as you grow your crew and search for the ultimate treasure, the golden booty. Once obtained, Longbeard can bring his true love to life, and he hopes to kill Victor III in the process. That's a pretty good one, right?
I really like that one.
You should check it out on the eShop.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Are you ready for the third game?
Yes.
All right. Cat Girl Without Salad Amuse-Bouche.
What?
Interstellar Mayhem. A bounty hunting cat girl. Funktasmical genre-spanning action. This one has it all. No foolin'. Blast everything that moves in this genre-defying action extravaganza. Take control of Kebako, a cat-eared intergalactic bounty hunter, as she patrols the galaxies with her faithful companion Squiddle in search of ridiculous space criminals.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm kind of torn because I think Golden Booty Game is probably fake. But the only issue I have with locking that in is that means the Cat Girl game would be real. And I don't want
it's
that.
up to you, Peter.
You know what? Against what I truly want, I'm gonna lock in Golden Booty Quest, whatever that was called.
Are you 100% positive?
Yes.
All right. Let's hope you made the good decision there. Pirate's Treasure, the quest for the golden booty, is made up.
Yes.
Peter wins this week's WackWare.
Let's go.
Cat Girl Without Salad Amuse-Bouche is a April Fool's game that was announced by WayForward and then was real.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's really funny, actually.
So, if you want to check out Cat Girl Without Salad, it's on the Switch.
See, I knew the pirate game was fake because
What do you have against Longbeard?
no, because I know how much you love putting like describing word beard. Like I don't know, I just like
I don't think I've done it before for WackWare.
You haven't done it before for WackWare. I just like I don't know, like I just knew.
From puppetry.
Yeah, exactly, from your puppetry class.
Well, Longbeard's a better name than my puppetry thing that we won't talk about.
What 1 million subs and we'll reveal what your puppetry mask was named.
Mm-hmm. It's a good name.
It is a good
So,
name.
moving on to the big chunk slash rumor report. We've condensed them into one segment this week because it's about a rumor.
Ooh, that's chunky.
So over the last week, this crazy rumor surfaced about Nintendo's plans for Mario's 35th anniversary. See, it originally broke through VGC and then it was backed up by almost everyone. So, like, I believe it now. I don't know if you believe it. Do you believe it?
I I gotta be honest, like, man, I'd love for this to be real. I don't believe it.
All right. Well, here's what I'm saying. I called that. See the flip. What's it called? Flip note. Is that do I have that right or am I blanking? It's
Flipping
flip
note,
note.
yeah.
All right. The flip note leak. I called that it was fake, and it was. And I think this one's real. So if my magic powers continue, this will be real.
All right. I
So
mean,
this report stated that for the 35th anniversary of the Mario franchise, Nintendo is going all in and they're going to remaster Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy as an anniversary collection with a separate deluxe port of Super Mario 3D World with new levels and content, plus a brand new Paper Mario game that goes back to the series roots. So this is pretty major.
yeah.
What do you think?
That's just that like that's way too many things for like I think it's possible if they maybe unveiled that they're doing all of these things, although I think it's still unlikely, but they're definitely not gonna like all release around the same time. I don't know. It sounds really, really far-fetched. Um,
This is a very generous Nintendo, if true, because their track record is releasing all their remasters separately as full price titles.
yeah,
And this is saying that not only like see the biggest, most popular and well rated 3D Mario games are all being remastered, not just ports, they're remastered together in the same pack.
yeah, I don't know about that.
I think they might do it just to compete with their competitors to show that Nintendo has similar content. Like the Crash Insane trilogy did it with 3 games, and I mean that's on Nintendo, but still that's
Yeah.
happening. There was the Nathan Drake collection and the Master Chief collection from their
Spyro.
rivals, Spyro. So maybe they hired some. Maybe they're not doing it internally. They hired another company to do this. Maybe Grezzo's doing this. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I would love all of these things to be real. I just for the life of me, I don't buy it.
And one thing that worries me about it is so you know when you beat Odyssey and you unlock the Mushroom Kingdom and it's got like the remastered version of Mario 64's Peach's Castle.
Yeah.
What if that was kind of like a hint for what they wanted to do next? And instead of making a brand new 3D Mario game, the 3D Mario team just did these remasters.
I mean,
And that's what they've been working on.
you know, that could happen.
Mm.
Uh, I think, I mean, here's the thing is the past record of like Mario anniversaries have never been like this insane.
No,
Like
they haven't been too
there was
impressive.
one, I don't remember if it was like the 20th or 25th or whatever it was, but there was one anniversary where literally all they did was port like Super Mario All-Stars from the Super Nintendo. They put it on a
To the
yeah, they
Wii.
put it on a disc and put it on Wii. And like that,
I mean, to
you
be
know,
fair, they also came out with Red, Wii, and DSi XL limited editions.
that's true, but like I don't know. This is just really really insane. Like I like here's the thing is like I'm supposed to believe that we're getting all of these Mario remasters and we're getting a Paper Mario game that returns to form. Like
So I believe in the Paper Mario game because they always follow a strict release schedule with those games. Like, I forget how many years, if it's 4 or 5, but each game has released in the indicated time. It's never gone over and it's never released early. They always come out, like, I believe it's every 4 years.
I mean, I'd love to see it.
Plus, Intelligent Systems outsourced a lot of Fire Emblem Three Houses to Koei Tecmo, so they've been working on something.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
I think they are. I think this is real. Like, it's insane, but I think it's real. And I think how they're gonna do it is they're gonna use the Odyssey engine. They're going to use lots of the graphics from Odyssey. Like, they're gonna use the Mario model and switch that out to immediately make each one of those games look a lot better. Because usually environments hold up a lot better than the models.
yeah,
Um, So this isn't remakes, it's remasters. So they're gonna do that. They can probably do something similar with the enemies, but they're probably gonna have to make a lot of new enemy models because lots of the enemies in some of the older games aren't in Odyssey.
yeah,
And then I think for Galaxy though, they can just upres it. Like they wouldn't have to do too much work and it would still look nice.
yeah. I mean,
And I hope Galaxy 2 is included as well, because I think Galaxy 2 is a little better. Like, they're both amazing games, but I think Galaxy 2 has the edge on the original.
mm,
But they'd have to do some minor workarounds to get those games working, because they had the motion controls and the pointing.
yeah. I mean, I'm honestly like I'd be really, really excited to see all of this stuff, and I would love for it to be real
Mm-hmm.
because, like it's Nintendo's golden boy. Like they should treat him
Yeah.
right. I still think that
And
this is like a little overboard, even if they do go through with it. But like, I would
but
love
we
to see it.
deserve for them to go overboard.
Yeah, I mean they're stretching the Mario brand out more. It would make sense for them to
Yeah.
have all of these like legacy titles available on the most recent console because we're getting the whole
And
theme park and the Legos and like all this stuff in the movie.
mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
it's awesome for me to think about it too, because it's like, well, if these were separate and we are only getting one, which one would I prefer to have on the Switch the most? And each one kind of stands on its own. They're all like equal in terms of what I'd want to play. Like Mario 64 would be amazing with modern visuals. Sunshine would just be great on a modern like platform, and there's a lot of fixes they can do with that game as well.
yeah,
Then Galaxy and Galaxy 2 would be great if they got off the Wii and were in HD. Like those games would be awesome.
yeah.
And then 3D World, because that's separate, but if 3D World gets ported and they add online and it actually works, like if it isn't like Mario Maker 2's online,
Okay,
that
now
could be
now
really
you're asking
fun.
for too much.
Well, I think it's possible. That game, a huge marketing point for that game was that it was the first multiplayer 3D Mario game with up to 4 people.
Yeah,
And I think if they, because they're doing all these, we haven't heard anything on 3D Land, and I like 3D Land equally to 3D World. There are some very small things in 3D Land, like some of the challenge rooms, that rely on the depth of field and wouldn't be possible to recreate on another thing. So with the added levels in 3D World, I think the added levels are all the 3D Land levels that work without 3D.
hmm. I mean we'll have to see.
And they might limit the multiplayer because that might break it if because those weren't made for multiplayer.
Yeah, true.
But I think Nintendo's embracing online a lot more because they're really trying to push their service. So and especially it's a 3D Mario game. They try to push that a hell of a lot more than New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. So
True.
I see them having a better chance of adding online to this than with that.
Good. Good point. Good point.
Um, Also said the H word, so this is a NSFW podcast now.
Oof. We can say not no words now.
Yeah, HE double hockey stick.
Hey, don't be saying that in the presence of Mario. He doesn't know those words.
Sorry, Mario. Forgive me for my sin. um, but yeah, I think we're gonna see this in June, unless the virus pushes it. But they were planning on doing an actual conference, apparently, like a stage show, to announce all the Mario plans with their E3 info. Nintendo
Mm.
only does that when it's something huge. The last time they did that was with the reveal of the Switch in 2017, and before that, they hadn't done one in a number of years either. So we're not going to see that, but the fact that that was planned means they're going all out, and they're probably going to switch it to like a digital, like direct presentation, but we might get a lot of news this year, and I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Also, when do you think it's going to come out?
Oh, if this is coming out,
I'm saying Paper Mario could be a good summer game. Like if it had like a 2 month turnaround and came out, like, let's see, Fire Emblem came out in July last year. If Paper Mario takes that spot, that would fit good.
yeah,
And then the Mario collection I'm seeing as being either September or October, but not later than that.
yeah. I mean, I feel like if you're gonna re-release Sunshine, that's gotta be in summer though. Like
But
it's
it's gonna
Sunshine.
be as part of the pack though. It's not specifically
Well, I
Sunshine.
know, but like I don't know. Sunshine's just such a summer game to me.
Maybe like the last day of August.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll try and do a thing where it's like have your summer in winter. So
Mm. And then there's 3D World Deluxe. Maybe is the December release or November, because they're gonna want to get that Mario collection out to push Black Friday sales. But
true,
3D World Deluxe is like that holdover game. So like December would work, but it also could be like a January game, because January is a really good time to just put out a game like that and it'll sell really good because there's no competition.
true, true.
And by actually, yeah, January works because thinking about it, a lot of people will probably get the Mario collection for Christmas. So if the 3D World Deluxe comes out in December, no one would really want it yet.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel like Nintendo probably has something pretty decently big planned for next Christmas.
I think this year is not going to be as it's not going to have as many big releases as we've traditionally gotten each year with the Switch, but I think they're going to make up for that with like unexpected ports and remasters like this to
Yeah,
fill in the gap,
I'd be cool with that.
which I'm okay with that. So I think they're going to go all out with original games in 2021. Like I think that's probably when Breath of the Wild 2 is going to release.
Yeah, I definitely think that Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be well. It also depends on like how much they want to revamp it from Breath of the Wild 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we also don't know how different it's going to be, but like if they're calling it Breath of the Wild 2, I'd imagine it would be pretty similar, and if that's the case, then like I don't think like 2021 is insane.
And then it's not necessarily like a huge seller, but I think Prime 4 is going to come out in 2022. I can't see them doing that turnaround for 2021, especially since Retro hasn't done anything in like 6 years. Like, what were they doing? We'll never know. I really don't think that game's going to be released unless they were saving it.
Yeah, I don't know.
'Cause it's crazy. Like, they worked on something for 5 years and it got scrapped. I'm surprised that Nintendo didn't shut them down.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
I mean, I hope whatever they were working on is just like done and they're waiting to release it, but
I mean,
I really doubt that at this point.
I also want to say that Nintendo and you know, I don't know if this is necessarily true of Retro, but I would imagine it would be is I don't think that like those 5 years of them like working on stuff was like useless. Like I think they're going to like even if the game itself is getting scrapped, I think a lot of you know probably like the gameplay mechanics and stuff will be implemented in other games. So like
But
still the work they put in is probably gonna see use.
it's just like ridiculous to think about though, because I remember right before E3 2018, which even in 2018, people were saying it had been a while since we've seen what they were up to.
Yeah,
That's when Star Fox Grand Prix got leaked, and that never got revealed. And I really do think that's what they were working on. So why did it get scrapped? What happened to it? We don't know.
yeah. Well,
But I think because like Zelda's the gamer game to come out in 2021,
right.
and I think in because the next gen consoles are releasing, Nintendo isn't releasing an upgrade to the Switch yet. But by 2022, we're definitely going to have a slightly upgraded Switch. There hasn't been a single handheld generation where they haven't done that because it increases the sales and makes it last longer.
Definitely.
So by then we'll have one. And what's a perfect game to pair with that? Prime 4, because the Prime games have always been well regarded for how good the graphics were at
Hmm.
launch. And it'll make people turn around and be like, wow, even in 2022, the Switch is capable of having great graphics.
Yeah. Hey, you know what else is a game series that has really great visuals on Nintendo?
What?
Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see
Is that,
Xenoblade
are you
3 at some
joking?
point. I don't know.
Are you joking or are you
Well,
serious? I
no,
can't
no,
tell.
I am serious. Despite
Because
the
I know lots of them look really good, but Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I don't like the original
okay,
looked kind of
like, but it looked great for
dated.
being on Wii.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
and then the 3DS port looked even worse, so I wasn't sure there.
looked great for being on 3DS. I don't even know how they got that game to work on 3DS, but they did it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
The Madmen did it.
But the new one, the definitive edition, does look really
It
good.
does look amazing. I
Mm.
love what Monolith Soft does. Uh, they actually worked on Breath of the Wild as well. Uh,
Yeah, they did, and they also worked on Mario Kart 7.
yeah, I mean,
Oh wait, no, they didn't. Oops, that was retro. I'm getting them confused in my head.
uh,
Too recent talking about it. Retro worked on Mario Kart 7, and then Monolith worked on Breath of the Wild, and they're either helping with the new one or they have their own Zelda IP in development.
well, they do. Monolith has a new IP in development.
Yeah, they do. They have a brand new IP, but they also were hiring for a Zelda project, and there's concept art of that.
Yeah, so
So no one's really sure if that's a completely new game or if it's just Breath of the Wild 2.
we'll have to wait and see.
We will. Do you want to wrap things up?
Sure.
We have one more segment, but it's a short one. As always, it's Hear Ye, this day in gaming. And on this day in gaming, Sakura Tyson 2 Kimi Shintamu Koto Nakari released in Japan.
That's a
Quite a
mouthful.
name, right? It released in 1998 for the Sega Saturn, and if you didn't realize, it's Sakura Wars 2. Sakura Wars, I wouldn't really call it a reboot. It's technically the same storyline, but it's just called Sakura Wars. It's coming out on PS4 this month, and it's the first time Sega is publishing the series in the US. It's a really popular series in Japan, and it's like probably one of the sole reasons that the Saturn was the most popular of that generation in Japan.
Hmm.
Or actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't think it was the best selling in Japan, but it was very popular in Japan. Like Japan was one of the only places the Saturn was a success.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a really interesting series, especially since it never came out here. There's a fan translation of the first one that just came out, and I don't think there's an official way to play the second, third. I believe there's like 4 or 5 games in this series that you can't even play in English.
Wow.
But they're really cool looking. I was watching like a documentary on how they made them, and it's fascinating. They got like the writer was so used to writing anime that he just wrote it in episodes, even though it was a game. And to this day, the games still use that format. Like it's just in episodes,
Wow.
and it was really impressive for when it came out. Like it looks so awesome, and I'd love to play the new one and the original games if they're ever released in English.
Totally.
So this has been the Game Grinder podcast. Thank you for listening to the end. We really appreciate it.
Yep, as always.
If you listened on YouTube, it's also available on Spotify and other podcast services. Likewise, if you listened on Spotify, it's available on YouTube. Please like and give us good reviews. It helps us out. And we'll catch you next week.
Don't forget to wash your hands.
Yes, please wash your hands. Goodbye.
Bye.
Mach den Mario, schwing die Arme auf und ab, setzt euch jetzt in Trab. Super Mario, ein Schritt vor und noch einmal, hey, tanzt den Mario, meine Freunde, ja! So geht's! Das ist der Mario! Mach den Mario, schwing die Arme auf und ab, setzt euch jetzt in Trab.